instructor. She's also sent a message that she'll join in a little later. So in that case, let me welcome you all and get started with today's orientation program. Uh, there have to be a lot of introductions to begin with, because I'm sure you had not heard of the Center for Public Policy and Governance, which is a new body started on 1st September 2021. You might have heard about the Institute for Social Sciences, which exists from 1985. So it's a 36-year-old think tank. So I believe, and I surely believe, that many of you here, or most of you here, perhaps have already heard about the institute where the Center for Public Policy and Governance, which has started these courses, is currently housed. So that's the relation between the Institute for Social Sciences, which is a 36-year-old think tank devoted to research, advocacy, action research, and of course, uh, making policy in the process. They've been in the process for 36 years in advocacy, action research, policy making, policy implementation, training programs, and advocacy. So they are an older body. They are housed in Nelson Mandela Marg in New Delhi. It's any of you, those of you who are in Delhi, because I haven't been introduced to you, so I don't really know how many of you are from Delhi. I would definitely be introduced to you gradually. You're welcome to come to the Institute of Social Sciences any day, any working day. We are there from 10 to 5, and you can see that the Center for Public Policy and Governance is housed there. This program is of course being hosted by the center, and the center itself is new. Let me begin by introducing myself first. Uh, just a minute, I think I have to. Uh, yes, all the course instructors are here. Welcome, Moitri. The course instructors, all four of them are here. Now, let me introduce myself. I'm Professor Rumki Basu. I was a professor of public policy and administration in Jamia Millia Islamia till recently. I retired on May 31st, 2021, and thereafter I joined the Research Institute from 1st September 2021, which is really, truly, you can call it the birthday of the Center for Public Policy and Governance. It's that young, that new. It's really a baby when it comes to other think tanks, perhaps in the city and elsewhere. We are a new center, and I'm the head of the center. I'm housed in the institute, which has a very old legacy of action research, policy research, advocacy, and bringing out, they've been doing seminars, webinars, workshops, training programs, being connected with the government for a very, very long time. Now, when I wanted to open my Center for Public Policy and Governance, I thought this is the best place to house my center in and get started. So that's how I started. And if any of you, and most of you, might have visited, our website, you would have definitely got an idea about what is it that we wish to do. We have really started with our Agenda 2022. And if you have visited our website, you would know what we have started with. We started with a symposium on South Asia, capacity building in administration and governance in South Asia, which was attended by almost 250 participants all over South Asia, where we had professors and civil servants speak about the problems of governance, policy, and administration in South Asia. That's how we got started. And yes, So we started with that. Thereafter, we thought we will, hold webinars, seminars, or whatever. In fact, we were waiting for offline seminars to begin with. And the first offline seminar we are going to begin with will be on health policy in India. So please watch out for the advertisements. Any of you who are interested in contributing a paper on health policy in India, the details will be there in the call for papers, which we will, float in by a week or 10 days. So that will be the next and the first offline activity of the institute, so to speak. Of course, our center will do that. And then we'll host a series of policy talks with eminent global scholars on various aspects of policy making, policy implementation, policy research, and policy review. And of course, policy cycle, what we understand by the policy cycle and the importance of policy studies today. There'll be a series of talks called policy talks, and we begin with Professor Alistair Roberts, who will be interviewed this month. And please watch out again for the website advertisements. Do watch the 1 hour interview that I've done with Professor Roberts. He's the director of the School of Public Policy, MIT. So he is speaking about public policy, the importance of policy studies, and the global significance of policy and governance, doing policy and governance courses, studies, research. These are the areas on which he will talk, and we'll have at least 4 or 5 more scholars throughout the year who are internationally renowned global scholars talking on public policy and governance, and the significance of doing policy studies today. So that's something. And then we decided to start these courses. And you may ask me, why did I choose to start these courses, which I passionately believe in? As the head of the Center for Public Policy and Governance, I thought that, to popularize these courses would also mean that we give a skill set to aspiring students who would wish to make a career in public policy or governance. It's not just civil service. It's there are a host of other jobs, or a host of other organizations in government, in international organizations, in industry, in the private sector today, who want public policy experts. So we thought that if we start with at least 4 courses this time. You're the first batch. We are a young, as I said, a young center. We've just got started in the last 6 months. But the idea is to let me just give me a minute. Yes. The idea is that we do not offer, let's say, a MA program in public policy or a diploma course in governance. We can't do that as an institute or as a center. We are not authorized or entitled to offer degree and diploma courses. But we can certainly offer certificate courses, value add courses, summer programs, workshops, or winter courses, which could be called value add courses on public policy and governance. And looking at, we've done some kind of research on this, looking at the job avenues for public policy experts in national organizations, government organizations, industry, and international organizations. We felt that we need to offer at least 4 courses. Even if you can't do it at a time, even if you do just one at a time, we will offer them at least twice a year. These courses will be offered at least twice a year, so that it enables any participant, any student, to take maybe 2 at a time and 2 the next time. And within a year, you have done 4 courses, which definitely allows you to have that kind of skill set as a value add to whatever else you have been doing. I'm not saying these are standalone degrees or diplomas that we are offering, but certainly as value add courses to your existing bag of degrees and diplomas that you may have, or the specializations that you may have. If you've done these four, I can assure you this will look good on your CV, and it will definitely equip you for any kind of job that requires some kind of expertise or knowledge or skill sets on public policy, governance, policy analysis, digital governance, and data analytics for policy research. These are useful, uh, kind of value add courses, which definitely will equip you. I'm not saying it will equip you for a great deal if you do just one course, but I can assure you if you've done four, perhaps within a year, that surely equips you for the kind of jobs where they're looking for students, participants, candidates who can do policy analysis, who can write project reports, who can, analyze data for policy research, and who also can and should know something about digital governance today. These are useful things to know in today's world, wherein a lot of bodies, government, private, public, are wanting people with these skill sets. So, this was the reason why we started, and this is our first batch. Uh, we learn a lot from our first batch, I'm sure, from the feedback that you will give us once you have attended all the courses. We value you greatly as our first batch of the students who are going for these courses. Uh, there are four course instructors who will be taking each course one by one. There will be 32 lectures inclusive of these two orientation day lectures. Today is really the day to get introduced to you, to get you introduced to us, the center, the institute, and the four course instructors, and what we really intend to do in these 32 lectures. Tomorrow, please attend. I would request you to attend even tomorrow's 2-hour lecture, which will be absolutely, subject specific to the four courses that we are offering. I will introduce the four courses to you, the academic content. And when we design these courses, they are not like other university courses. If you check out your MA Public Policy courses or MA Public Policy and Governance courses elsewhere, I can assure you that the kind of state-of-the-art inputs that we've tried to give or put into the contents of these four courses is certainly not being duplicated by anybody. We saw that they were standalone. That's the reason why we felt very confident that we will get a good response to these courses, because these are not duplicating university courses at all. Though we call them certificate courses because that's what we are entitled to give you, but do have a good look at the content. And if you've seen other courses being offered elsewhere, uh, some of them very highly priced private university courses or private courses by other private bodies, extremely high priced courses. But if you look at the content, and please compare the content, I can guarantee that these four courses, and with the kind of web resources we will give you, we give you the update web resources, because we do understand many of you are working, many of you are full-time students. These are weekend classes. You certainly do not have the time to read books. And, by the time you start on books, maybe 32 lectures will be over. So we are realistic enough to understand that you are here for weekends only. These are absolutely state-of-the-art courses, but we do not expect the kind of readings that we expect from students from regular courses in universities. But what you can and could do just to be update on what is being taught in class, not only be regular in class, but kindly check out the web resources that's been provided to you as a supplement to classroom teaching, because classroom teaching will cover the course. And let me tell you, 32 lectures, if you're absent in any, you will be the loser, because every lecture of 2 hours will be done on one topic. So if you want to have a look at the courses and you see the topics, every topic will be covered in a 2-hour lecture. So if you keep absenting yourself or you're bunking the classes, you will not get the linkages that are necessary to cover a course. So I would advise you, please take this seriously. These are not weekend certificate courses. Not only, I'm not saying just because you've paid for them, you need to attend them, but because, we want to give you the value that we attach when we went for course design. We went for the content. We took so much effort to see that they're state of the art. So if you've paid for them, please use them, learn from them, and follow up with e-resources. And if you want more clarity, the teachers are there for you. You can we will give I've asked all the course instructors to spend 15 to 20 minutes every class to clarify doubts, to clarify whatever queries you have. So I am very, very particular that you are getting something which others are not going to give you, and you will find that out very soon when you attend the classes. The kind of PPTs that have been prepared for you, the course content itself, just to clarify what we are teaching in class. There are supplementary material given to you. The PPTs are there, the classroom, the e-resources are there. So if you are serious, our teachers are extremely serious, and you will get your value add. And by the time you finish your 32 lectures, you truly deserve that certificate, if not more. But you should not go back home disappointed after those 32 lectures that you didn't get what you expected to get. And these are serious academic. I'm a professor. I have retired as a professor from Jamia, but believe me, my only identity, which I carry with me lifelong, is that of academics, teaching, research, and I'm proud and happy to be called a professor, more than anything else that I might be doing right now in the institute. And of course, I run this Center for Public Policy and Governance, which, as I said, we've started 6 months back. But I don't ever forget that I'm a teacher, I'm a professor, and that my duty is to give value add to students who join my courses. So please do understand that is why we are doing these courses, and all 4 of them. Please attend them sometime or the other. Even if you've enrolled for 1 now or 2, do enroll for all 4 by the end of this year, so that you get the full value of the set of courses that we are trying to give you. And it's our duty as the Center for Public Policy and Governance to run courses aligned to the thought processes, the objectives, the vision and mission of our center, which is to, look at public policies as the world's largest democracy. I think this is the duty of the center, to disseminate knowledge about public policies and get the public into the domain of public policy, advocacy. Even if they don't make policy, we do know that there are official public policy makers, whether it's the legislature or the executive or the government, or, they are the ones who actually make, or the bureaucrats who actually make policy. But before they make the policy, all the stakeholders, whether it's in a particular public policy, let's say education or health or telecom or environment, before our official public policy makers make policy or make laws for us, As citizens of the world's largest democracy, it's our duty to ask them why we were not consulted, why there is no informed public opinion on the subject, why we can't critique a public policy, why a public policy once made cannot be reformed, modified, changed according to the demand of the citizenry. And the citizens are supreme in a democracy. And democratic public policy making is different from public policy making in autocracies, in dictatorships, in one party regimes. Please understand that public policy, when I use that word, it's all about the public. Policies are made for them. And the government in democracies are making and have to be making, that's their job, to run governance. They need policies to be made, and there is a democratic process of how a particular item gets into the agenda of the lawmakers or the public policy makers. It's through advocacy, through research, through social movements, through public opinion, who want that their lawmakers or their policy makers make such and such kind of laws for them. After how many years the national education policy has been changed? Almost after 3 decades. What about health policy? That's also come after years. So environment policy, all these concern us as citizens that we should get into the debate. So public policy making, implementation, review, modification, all of this, the public should be involved. That is the beauty of a democracy versus non-democracies, who maybe do things instantly. They never consult the public. There is no democratic process of doing it. Let's say in Russia, China, one-party states. I'm talking of India versus one-party states, where the executive, the lawmakers make the law and they implement it. And they do their own kind of review. And where is the public in it? The public is absent. Whereas in democracies, this is what we are trying to change. In the Center for Public Policy and Governance, I've already given and do give lectures all over India in my capacity as a professor of public policy and governance. And I've been continuously talking of this, that in the world's largest democracy, when policies are made, they have to involve the public for whom they are made. The public has to be the stakeholders. You have to know what the law is all about, what the policies are all about. You have every right to know how they are made, with consultation of stakeholders or not, and whether once they are made, can you change them, modify them by review, by voicing your opinion? In this whole process of getting a policy problem into the governance agenda, or in the bill making agenda, or in the policy making agenda, the public should be there. Of course, we know in democratic policy making, public law making, it's your representatives in parliament who do it. Your representatives in government are elected members. They do it. But let's say for education policy or health policy, are all stakeholders being consulted when they made the policy? Whether it's the parents or the students or the teachers or the management of schools, colleges, and universities, they are the stakeholders of education policy. Were they consulted when the education policy was revised after 30 years? These are the valid questions to be asked by citizens in a democracy. So what are we going to offer you in the Center for Public Policy and Governance? The center was started on 1st September 2021 in the midst of a COVID crisis. And it was in the midst of this COVID crisis that I realized, because I started this center, I'd completed my tenure as a professor of public policy and governance, and I started this center in the institute. In the midst of COVID, I realized that a lot of public discourse was happening on policies, because COVID management is something, it was all about the center and the states, about public sector governance. So we realized it's the private sector or industrial sector or whatever we call the voluntary sector also maybe have got in a certain way. Think tanks and the center like ours are belong to what is called the third sector, which takes in civil society, think tanks, and others. We are not part of government. We are not part of private sector. We are the third sector. So therefore, our duty is to see that we create informed public opinion, that we allow debates and discourses on policy reforms, that we look at all policies dispassionately, objectively, and all these debates and discourses happen in the public domain through seminars, webinars, policy talks, or whatever we do, so that we try and create informed opinion. And after these debates and discourses, whatever consensually emerges should be called advocacy, research-based advocacy, wherein we try to give our findings to the lawmakers, to it could be MPs or MLAs or ministers or any government ministry. We try interacting with them, and we just 1 minute. Yes, and we try and build up a lobby for certain kind of laws which we are advocating, or we do the kind of advocacy for reform, change, review of laws. Midway corrections can be made in democracies. It's absolutely possible that we can make any kind. Just give me 1 minute, please. There's some problem. Fine. So this is the reason, I wanted to tell you, it was the COVID crisis which truly made us all aware how important government is. What is the centrality of the state? What is the centrality of public issues being brought into the public domain? Because it was during the COVID period that we realized that entire COVID management was through public policies, whether, essentially health policy, but there were other areas which the center and the states were acting in coordination. And that's how we managed the first wave of COVID, the second wave of COVID, the third wave of COVID. And during this period, we understood, why we needed discourses on a welfare state, how and why we needed discourses on migrant laborers and their policies. What is the importance of one ration card, one nation, one ration card scheme? Why do we need to distribute free food and near free medical supplies? Why free vaccination was important? Why employment, those who've lost employment, why the centrality of our public discourse needs to be on employment generation. These are matters of public policy. We need to understand what is, let's say, during COVID, another issue that came up, the issue of digital divide in schools. It's a huge issue. So COVID brought in the centrality of public discourses on the government, public policies, the state, and what should be the kind of public policies Indians in different parts of India, having looked at COVID-19 management, would want government to improve on, whether it is in agriculture, the debate about the farm laws and how they were reviewed. The issues on migrant labor and how labor policies need to be reviewed. You know the question of health policies and how our health infrastructure needed to be reviewed, whether it's employment generation or our existing state capacity to deliver efficiently to the public. We call it public service delivery systems. They need to be reviewed too. Whether the state is efficiently giving you your dues, public goods and services. This is what state gives to citizens. Public goods and services come from the state, whether it's central government or state government. Do you know that there are 400 direct benefit transfer schemes of the government of India? You could be one of the beneficiaries, but do you know enough about them? Do you know enough about government schemes, central government schemes, state government schemes? You could be a target beneficiary. Do you know enough about them? Where is the awareness? And if you feel you've been left out of any government scheme, you could start your advocacy for it through a social movement, through a think tank, through could be even our center. You could just walk into our Center for Public Policy and Governance and tell us, look, this is a social issue, a political issue, an economic issue, which needs to be taken up for advocacy. And the government, these are the people who are left out of all government schemes. Could you start an advocacy for them? We'll do it for you. That's what we are there for. All think tanks have an objective. We are not in the government, we are not in the private sector, but we are there for citizens. We stand for democracy, and the kind of democratic public policy making, it's only possible in democracies like India, where there are multiple voices, multiple stakeholders, and the government needs to debate with the stakeholders when it is making policies, reviewing policies, or even new policies. There are various options. You can make a new policy which does not exist. You can modify an old policy after review. You can repeal old laws and policies. So every possibility is there in a democracy, because in democracies, the public are the stakeholders. And you need to talk, debate, discourse, protest. If you feel you are left out from government schemes, government policies, government programs, you want to be a shareholder in the world's largest democracy, that's India. You need to even to talk about all these things, you need knowledge. And that is why we felt that our Center for Public Policy and Governance will at least start the debates. We'll take up various public policies. We are beginning with health policy, a mega national seminar on health policy, which we'll do in May, June. We are yet to decide on the date, but there'll be a call for papers soon. Similarly, we will technology policy, other policies, maybe not more than 2 a year. We want to do a thorough job and research first on the policy that we are taking up for a seminar or a webinar, because we want the best experts to come and talk. And out of this, we will publish books, we will publish monographs, we will let you know what was the outcome of that seminar. I mean, as a head of the Center for Public Policy and Governance, I do seminars and then not let you know what is the outcome of that seminar. So accountability begins from me. I, as head of the Center for Public Policy and Governance, I have an Agenda 2022, which involves talks, seminars, webinars, workshops, running courses, publishing, and they will all be out in the public domain for you to know what I've done and correct me if I go wrong, because that's what we are doing as advocates of public policy and governance. We want the government to do mid-course corrections, which is possible, because remember, it's the beauty of democracy lies in small changes. Maybe we don't go for radical changes like one-party states, autocracies, non-democracies. They can do what they like. They're not accountable to the public. They go for major changes, radical changes, whatever, violent, non-violent. In democracy, you can't do that. You go for slow-paced changes, incrementalism, but it could be one step forward, 2 steps backward. but still there'll be progressive change. In democracies, there is progressive change because you've been through this one step forward, two step backward consultation process, deliberative process, procedure orientation. These are the hallmarks of a democracy. Remember, not what is happening in Russia and China. I'm taking their examples. Sorry to be taking those specific examples, but just to say they may be doing big things, radical things, bringing in big changes through public policy, but they do not do it democratically. We are slow. We are slow. We are running the race a little slow in India as a democracy. We bring in change gradually, progressively. We can't make radical decisions, but that's what incrementalism is all about. Because when you finally bring in the change, remember that change is going to be sustainable because you have consulted all stakeholders and then formulated a policy which should be sustainable for you. So whenever I talk of India and China, because everyone is talking about India, China these days, I always talk about one, I always give one example. All of you have seen that, all of you have heard of that story about the race between the tortoise and the hare. In children's fables, it's very famous, isn't it? The race between the tortoise and the hare. Who wins in the end? The tortoise. And the tortoise is India, and the hare is China. Which is the most sustainable model? India's. Because in 21st century, the leitmotif of the 21st century is democratization, democratization, and more of democratization. If that is to be the leitmotif of 21st century, the sustainable model is India's. We go slow. We fight amongst ourselves. There are 100 mutinies that have happened in India. But have we cracked and crumbled as a democracy or as a nation? We have become stronger. We have emerged stronger with all these mutinies and debates and discourses. We call ourselves sometimes a functioning anarchy. With all of that, have we cracked and crumbled and fell apart as a nation? We have not, and it will never happen. It is democracy that has saved us. And therefore, being the world's largest democracy, we need to understand why public policy and governance needs to be truly public. Get the public into all policy making, implementation, review, see what they have to say. So therefore, the Center for Public Policy and Governance is into this task. And we are a new organization. So one way we thought we'll reach out to students is through these 4 courses. And you know what they are all about. Introduction to Public Policy and Governance, where we introduce the subject to you, what we are doing. Then how do you analyze public policy? That's the second paper. Then the third paper is on digital governance. That's a very big thing these days. Try to understand the importance of e-governance and how it has transformed India's public policy implementation. Why a citizen may not even visit a government office, and I'm saying this with conviction, can get all public goods and services at home. There are Public Service Guarantee Acts which ensure public service delivery at home. You don't have to pay bribes. Look at middlemen to get your tasks done. Go to government office and wait in queue for hours. Governance has changed in India today. Very few are talking about it or know about it. But as citizens, you need to know how public policy making, review, implementation, in all of this policy cycle, the citizen can get in and put in an opinion and persist that he or she is heard. And secondly, how governance itself has changed through e-governance, digital governance. It is the era of digital governance today, wherein there is no need for intermediaries between the state and the citizen. This is important for you to know. There is no need for you to go to government offices and bribe clerks and peons to get your job done. You can get all your services under the Public Service Guarantee Acts passed by 20 states of India at your doorstep. And e-governance anyway ensures this. Sitting at home with a computer, you can get whatever public services you require. Just book it and there is online delivery. So if the governance pattern has changed through e-governance, which you need to know, and one course is devoted to that, you also need to know, you need to have the tools to analyze public policy, which we've done in the second course. Then, how do you use big data for policy research? That's something, that's a new world altogether. You need to be global citizens before you talk of being Indian citizens. We are very proud to be Indian citizens. We are the world's largest democracy. There are so many things, so many best practices in public policy, governance, and administration. When we hosted this South Asian symposium, uh, there was speaker after speaker who talked of capacity building in governance and administration, how it has happened in the last 20, 30 years. What are Indian best practices? What is it that India is offering to the world? And today, if there's one catchword that you need to know about, and I'm talking as a professor of public policy and governance, it is that India matters. Let that be the slogan, India matters. Because of our best practices, our own experiments in governance at the grassroots, about the kind of initiatives our 28 states of India have taken in governance and succeeded, about our, how we are trying to build in a culture of competitive performance. The old stories about politics are now virtually dead, and you should know that as students. The old stories of Indian democracy, caste, class, identity, region, that's all that matters when people vote. I'm sorry to inform you that they don't anymore. They may matter at times. Caste, class, community, region, gender, they do still matter in a certain sense. But if you think voting patterns, if you look at voting patterns in state elections and central elections, please remember performance politics has stepped in and will continue to matter in future. So if you are talking of performance politics as the most important transition that we've made from identity politics, from the politics of poverty to the politics of prosperity, from identity to performance, if that is the transition in the 21st century, then the most important discourse becomes the discourse on public policy and governance. And all of you, as young citizens of India, of the world's largest democracy, and beneficiaries of the demographic dividend, India is a beneficiary of the demographic dividend, which will continue till 2050. China has an aging population. The Western countries have an aging population. Look at the statistics. The latest census will tell you. When the latest census reports come out, please study the demographics, the changing demographics of India. Let us forget our old textbooks. All of you are young citizens, below 35, below 40, maybe even below 30. Please do not read old textbooks in any subject anymore. We need new textbooks, new discourses, and new knowledge about India, if not about the global scenario, which of course I always say every Indian should be a global citizen. Be aware of the changes that are happening in your own country. Do not take an average Indian citizen for granted as a voter. He is perceptive enough to understand the new issues. And you cannot tell them to wait eternally for the good things in life anymore. All these divides, caste, class, identity, rich, poor, gender. All these divides still exist and has divided India for 75 years. But I feel the time has come for progressive change and for people to understand that you need advocacy for this change. You need to tell the executive and the people in power, the political regime, that we've heard enough of the old discourses. Please listen to us. Make us stakeholders in the policies that you make. We should be part of the implementation. We will be the one to review and tell you whether this policy is good for us, it needs a modification, a review, or change. We, the public of India, should be a part of that process of public policy and governance. And India is being watched. India is being watched. The Chinese model is being watched and used to be admired so much. Today, nobody's talking of the Chinese model anymore. It's resource depletive, environment depletive. It's non-democratic. We can do things better, but maybe not with that speed and pace, because we are a democracy. We have to listen to procedures, the rule of law, the constitution, incrementalism, slow change. But slow change means also sure change, progressive change. And be positive about what you see in India today. There are, I know, professors, you people think professors are the most cynical, negative people on earth. They're continuously critiquing everything. That is the standard stereotypical image of a professor among the young people that I talk to, and I'm talking to young people all the time. What do I hear from them? Professors mean critique, and critique. The state, democracy, institutions, everything is being critiqued by professors all the time. They never offer solutions. They never offer new models. They never offer alternate discourses. I am ready as a professor to take that criticism. I'm ready as a professor to take that criticism. Yes, a lot of them have a lot of negativity. With age and experience, you turn cynical, you turn negative. But that's not the message I would like to give you all, to young citizens of India today. We are competing everywhere. We have the best human resources, skilled human resources to offer to the world. Demographic dividend, if we make our workforce skilled, we haven't made them as yet. They will be employable anywhere in the world. And how are we looked at by the world? As are we delivering outcomes? Are we implementing public policies? Does democracy deliver? That's the big model that India has to give to the world, that we deliver. Democracy delivers. You know, our people have waited for generations for politicians to deliver and democracy to deliver. It's a tribute to our public that they have been so patient. But the young people do not have to be that patient. If you want to shout, you fight, you want to debate, you want to discourse, you want to, advocate change, progressive change, new policies, modification of policies, please go ahead and do that in a big way. You deserve a better democracy. You deserve better governance. You deserve better public policies. And we are there with you. In the Center for Public Policy and Governance, it's my job and the job of the center to do just that. You know, our mission and vision and our objective is to build up informed public opinion, advocate through research and after research, not without research. After research studies, we will advocate change in certain public policies. We'll reach out to the government, lawmakers, legislators, political regimes. We'll reach out to them based on research, studies as to why we want a change, why we want modification. So therefore, you know, that's what the center is trying to do and will do. We are a young center. Please be with us in all that we do. You're our resource. And as the first batch of a new program, which we have started We welcome you, we wish you well, and we would ask you to continuously attend. Please attend all the lectures and give me and our center a feedback. We value your feedback because these are 4 new courses we have floated in the public domain, 4 new teachers who, with their knowledge in the domain and expertise in the domain, they should be able to guide you through the syllabus, the course. There'll be interactive rounds, there'll be objective type tests, there'll be case studies discussed, there'll be home assignments for you, there'll be class presentations. We give you time to interact, speak, talk, or even correct the teacher if necessary. If you have better, what should I say, research-based data, please share it with us. We, as a resource center, research center, advocacy center, and a center devoted to public policy and research, we are trying to build up a database on various public policies in India. So if you get some data which you think is worth sharing, please share with us. We are building up a library, a digital library on various public policies, whether health or governance, sanitation, forest policy, environment policy, telecom policy, any and every policy needs a review, needs a change, and needs modification. And the perspective that we will have is always a citizen perspective. How does a policy impact a citizen on the ground? That's all we want to see. We are doing impact studies, evaluation studies. We want to see the impact of policies made for the public, but it should be by the public, of the public, for the public. That's the leitmotiv of democracies, and that should be the leitmotiv of democratization as a principle of public policy and governance for the 21st century. And it should concern you more than us. We are old senior citizens. You are the young ones who will bring in all the social change in India. And how will you bring that without data, without knowledge, without research, without some awareness? You can't be an informed public. So to convert you from an ordinary public person to an informed public person who can advocate any kind of change in democratic India based on knowledge and data is our purpose. So with these words, I think I've spoken enough. The introductions must follow because today was the orientation day and I'm supposed to be introducing my course instructors, and I want to be introduced to you more than, not everybody is present. Unfortunately, I don't see all the students who have registered are here. Maybe they had genuine issues, but please, without reason, don't start bunking classes. This was the orientation program and we expected all of you to be here. I don't think everybody is here, but I certainly wish and pray that you will attend your classes seriously, interact with teachers, do your home assignments, your objective type tests. You certainly deserve the certificate after 32 classes. We'll be too happy to give you a certificate after you've completed the basic course requirements, because we are taking you seriously. We have prepared the course design. The teachers are getting ready with their classes. So we want that you get your value add and you get back and tell others that these courses were worth it, so please be there. Now, with these words, I think I would like to introduce my course instructors one by one. For the introduction to public policy and governance, please see the syllabus. It's all on the website. Please continuously check our website because all update information will be given in the website. Changes in classes, of course, any extempo changes in classes, the teachers will tell you. But be there, look at the timings of each class. It's only weekend classes, different timings for different courses and different teachers. There's a separate teacher for every course. Everything is there in the website. You will be given web resources, the syllabus, the timings of the classes, and the name of the instructor. So you can start attending right from 19th. Tomorrow is my day. You had to know the head of the Center for Public Policy and Governance. So I sort of squeezed myself in to be able to get to know you a little better, and you should know who are the instructors. So some kind of a general orientation was necessary. That's why I butted in today and tomorrow. Again, I request you to attend from 9 to 11 because I'll be introducing actually the academic content of all the 4 courses that you will do. So please be there from 9 to 11. That will be serious academic discussion on all the 4 courses. Now, today I want to introduce Gauri Narayan Mathur. Gauri, yes, you are there.
Yes, ma'am.
Gauri will take you for CC1, which is Introduction to Public Policy and Governance. There's absolute uniformity in the unitization of all the 4 courses. Please check and note that. There's absolute uniformity. 4 units per course. And the last unit is always a hands-on practical course with case studies or with some kind of training, analysis. It will be less of theory. The first 2 would be theory-based units. The next 2 would be more of practice and case study approach, and of course, discussion of web resources and whatever else skill sets that we think are necessary to give you will be given in unit 3 and 4. 1 and 2 will be theory based. So Gauri is the first instructor. Gauri Narayan Mathur, will you like to introduce yourself and the course a bit, Gauri? Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, all of you. A very warm welcome. I'm Dr. Gauri Narayan Mathur, and I will be taking classes for CC1, which is Introduction to Public Policy and Governance. Public policy is a newly emerging and innovative discipline that is opening new frontiers of knowledge in contemporary times, and it is an interactive discipline. We will be going to have very interactive sessions during our classes, which will include interesting brainstorming sessions, lectures, case studies, group discussions, quizzes, etc. And the course will not only provide you an in-depth understanding of what public policy is all about, but it will also help you to develop your critical thinking abilities, as well as it will also develop your attitude for research in policy study, aptitude for policy studies. So that is it, and very warm welcome to the center. Uh, yes, over to you, ma'am.
Yes, the timings. Have you mentioned the timings of your
Yes, the
course?
timing for my classes will be from 12:15 to 2:15. So please be there on time, and everything is mentioned on the website also. So yes, and do
Yes.
attend the classes
There'll be
regularly.
let me tell you, there'll be a 15-minute break in case, because there are participants who have taken 2 courses. So therefore, taking that in mind, that there would be some candidates who have taken more than one, we have designed a timetable wherein it's possible for any student to take 4, 3, 2 if they wish, but a 15-minute break. There'll be a 15-minute break between each class. So since these are weekend classes only, I do understand that it could be a little heavy for you in the weekends because every course is of 2 hours. But believe me, to cover the course, it was absolutely necessary that every class is one topic. So if you've missed one class, you've missed one topic. And it's very difficult to keep on repeating the same lecture. It's not possible. It's a very tight course, has to be covered in 32 lectures. So please be there. It's important. Yes, I think Moitri, the second instructor, will be there tomorrow. Moitri, are you there? I think I don't see her. She did come in, but she did tell me that she would have to leave a little early. So Moitri, they will introduce public policy analysis tomorrow. She'll be there throughout. So the second paper is, the timings is from 10 to 12. Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 12. That's the timing of CC2. She'll be there tomorrow to talk to you, to introduce her course. Then CC3 is e-administration and digital governance. Believe me, this is a very innovative program we have designed for you. And I don't think there is any other institution or university in India which has designed such a novel, innovative program on digital governance. So I would advise you, even if you've not opted for it this time, please opt for it when we open up again next time. This is really a value-add course for you. Now, Dr. Vanashri Agarwal will introduce this course to you, the timings, the content, and if there's anything else you wish to say, Vanashri, you're welcome.
Good morning, all of you. A warm welcome to ISS and our Center for Public Policy and Governance. You met Professor Basu this morning, who's an authority all over India. We've grown up, reading her books, and even those going for the civil services are, a party to ma'am's scholarship and wide experience. As for me, I'm a public policy analyst and educator. Let me welcome you to the world of public policy through the prism of e-administration and digital governance. That's the course I'll be taking for you. The importance of digital aids. In our life, I think it's not alien to you. I mean, you must have joined today's session by, say, your mobile or laptop or your tablet, And from the past 2 years, a large part of your curricula, you must have, been doing through the online mode itself. It has had its ups and downs, pros and cons, you would say, but it did certainly save a lot of time for our students. And it opened newer vistas to yourselves, you were able to upskill and reskill as you would be able to through these courses that are being offered by the center. So with me, you are welcome to the world of digital governance to understand how the ICT tools are, bringing this digital revolution to the country and how they impact the government's work, and through that, giving services to the citizen at large. I'll be taking you to this weekend course over Saturday and Sunday, a course spread over, 4 units. Each, as ma'am said, 1 unit would be covered in 2 hours. And we will discover the world of digital governance together in India, understand its evolution, the impact of COVID, outreach in rural and urban pockets of India, and decode the opportunities and challenges vis-a-vis application in policy field in India. We'll learn about various concepts and schemes through lectures, PowerPoint presentation, short films, and case studies. Your active presentation in class, tongue-in-cheek, beginning with your videos being kept open, will enrich the experience for me as well as with you. We'll go deeper into this world, the nuances of the subject with you, and able to do a case study and attempt a final quiz. So looking forward to an, exciting journey of this course, beginning 19th March, 4:45 p.m. See you.
Thank you, Vanashri. She was the third she'll be doing CC3 with you. Now I move on to CC4. Sharmishta, you're there? Sharmishta was here. I don't know. Can you see her? Sharmishta, will you please take up and introduce your course? Introduce yourself and your course, please. Data Analytics for Policy Research. Can you hear me, Sharmishta? Are you there?
I guess you're on mute.
Sharmishta, yes, please. Will you carry on now? Yes, Sharmishta, I think Moitri, the second course instructor, is also here. So we will give Moitri a chance first, and then Sharmishta, get ready to speak.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Okay, go ahead,
Yes.
Sharmishta. Please introduce yourself and your course.
Yeah.
Right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm basically taking the 4th course, that is Data Analytics for Policy Research. Now, in any paper, when we start with, we need to know how we proceed for the analysis. And that's we are going to go, we are going to do it with the help of statistical calculations. So as ma'am said, we'll be dealing with big data analysis, how to come to a conclusion and what it will help in reflecting on the policy research. That's the basic funda of this paper. And I'll be taking your paper from 2:30 to 4:30 onwards. So we welcome all of you. I think it will be a great fun interacting with each other and knowing each other, and definitely you'll be, introduced in this big world of this course, and which will help you all to evaluate how to evaluate the data, how to come to a conclusion, and it will definitely help you in future policy research. Thank you.
Is there anything else you wish to say, Sharmishta, regarding the importance of this course today?
Yeah,
Data
the
analytics
importance
is a big
of
word.
statistics.
Data
Yes, ma'am.
science itself is a very big word today. All over the world, the people have discovered the uses of data, and so much so that data science is a very valued course everywhere in universities, and how data can influence public policy making, implementation, review. And therefore, there's a whole school of thought called evidence-based policy making that's based purely on
Yes,
data. So when you see a lot of politicians talking about outcomes, you can straight away ask them, are you speaking based on data or evidence? Do you have any evidence of what you're saying? So, evidence-based policy making or data-based outcomes or action is what is required today. So when you are changing public policy, you have to show by data why you're doing it. What has been the impact of that public policy on a target group? The impact is because data shows this is the impact on a targeted group of beneficiaries. So everything today, when we talk of scientific policy making, policy studies have become a science. When we are talking of evidence-based policy making, this is a global trend that all policymakers must, that's a demand in democracies, that all policymakers must base policy on evidence, on scientific data. So therefore, if a politician facing elections is making an election speech wherein he's claiming a lot of credit for what he's done, implementation, etc., the public can simply ask him, where is the data? Show us how and what the impact of these policies have been. If you've really done so much work, show us the outcomes and impacts on target groups. So therefore, science is important. A scientific attitude is important. And data science comes in a big way in policy today, in policy research. Globally, that's the trend. So data analytics is a big word today when it comes to policy science. Is there anything else you wish to add, Sharmita?
Yes, ma'am.
Please do.
Yes, ma'am. How will you analyze the data? What is the outcome? How it will be helping you in policy making? That is the basic, basic borderline of this paper. How will you prove yourself whatever you're trying to prove with the help of statistical calculations? That is data analytics for public policy research.
Fine. So you'll see more of the course. You'll hear more of the course as Sharmishta proceeds. And, since there's a lot of statistical analysis in her paper, I advise you not to miss any class because it's going to be difficult. I'm repeating myself, but I'm repeatedly saying, if you really want to take advantage and gain the knowledge that you should get the knowledge sequentially by attending every single class. See the linkages. Otherwise, you lose out if you are going to bunk classes because every day it's a fresh topic. No repetitions. We can't afford to in 32 lectures. Two of these, of course, are orientation. Tomorrow, I advise you to attend my lecture from 9 to 11. After that, the real classes begin from 19th. Let me make this big announcement also. The next class, the real classes on the syllabus, these are of 30 lectures ending on 30th April and beginning from 19th March. The office of the Center for Public Policy and Governance is being managed by Mr. Anjani Kumar. I think all of you know him better than anybody else, because Anjani has been managing the Center for Public Policy and Governance very efficiently. He will be the one to be in touch with students, inform them, give you latest updates. If you ever have a problem of information, the man to contact is Mr. Anjani Kumar. Mr. Anjani Kumar, are you there? Will you just say hello to all the participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please please be on camera and introduce yourself and what are the kind of services you're ready to give to students and participants. Please, if you could tell. You've already been in touch with them, and I'm happy with the kind of interaction that you've had with the students. That's the only little information I got, but today I'll get introduced to the students also. So, Anjani, please, if you speak a few words about your role in the center.
Good morning, ma'am, and all the students who have enrolled for this course. I will help you all whatever problems you face regarding course materials, timings, study materials, any query, anytime you may drop message. I will be always happy to help you out.
Absolutely. So he is the man to be in touch in case you have any problem. He manages. I welcome you all to the Institute of Social Sciences, and we are housed there in the Center for Public Policy and Governance. You can come to my room. You can come to Anjani's room, which is really the Center for Public Policy and Governance. He manages that room. He sits there, and I'm in my room as a faculty member. So if you are in Delhi, and if you are from Delhi, I welcome you to come and meet me anytime. Now, Moitri, if you are there, could you please speak a few words and introduce your course? Moitri Day is in charge of CC2. I thought she had just come in. Dr. Moitri Day, are you there? Well, I don't know if she's there. I thought she'd just come in again. But definitely tomorrow she'll be there to introduce her course, which is CC2. Now, before I have a few more announcements, etc., to make, because we are there till 1 o'clock. Before that, I must get to know the participants who are there physically present today. At least, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you're doing currently and how did you get to know about our courses. These are the three things I want to know from all of you who are present. Many are not. I'm sorry about that they couldn't come into the program today. But those of you, Nikhil, Nilofer, Yashkriti, Ambika, Anushika, Pragya, I can see at least these names. If there are others, please tell me. Each of you get at least 2 to 3 minutes. Introduce yourself, what course you are doing, or if you are employed, where you are employed, and how did you get to know about our syllabus, our course, and this program. Just these three. I begin with Nikhil Madhusudanan. Yes, Nikhil.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. A little
Good afternoon.
louder, perhaps. If you could speak a little louder,
okay.
we could hear you more clearly.
Is this fine, ma'am?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay.
Carry on, Nikhil.
Good afternoon, Rumki Basu ma'am, and good afternoon to other participants. Myself, I'm Nikhil Madhusudanan. I'm enrolled in a PhD program at IGNOU in the Department of Public Administration, and my areas of interest are actually technology and bureaucracy and such aspects. So. By the way, I came to know about this course through my IGNOU professors. We have a group, and I think it was Professor Uma Meduri ma'am who shared this in the group. and asked us to enroll in it, and I found this really useful. So I have enrolled in CC2 and CC4. And by the way, I'm having exam this month. Coursework exam is going on. I mean, going to happen in 24th onwards, it'll start. But however, I'll be attending all the classes because it's just 2 hours per week. I mean, per day, and that too end of the week. So that's it. And I'm also working in an edutech company. Not now, but I used to work, and after my coursework, I'll be rejoining that company. It's in
Thank
it's
you,
in the field
Nikhil.
of
Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad to know that you are a PhD student. And Uma, of course, is a good friend of mine. And I'm glad she spread the word around to others. We hope more students from IGNOU will join us. And if you could spread the word around and give them the feedback after you've attended your 2 lectures. But certainly, as a student as an interested student, I'd advise you to attend as many lectures as you can, just to be able to get the theme, and interactions are absolutely advisable. You can interact, ask questions, and please be there for most of the lectures so that we can get a good feedback from you. We would like to know. We are still learning. We have just opened these courses. You're the first batch. So we'll be too happy to get a good feedback from you, and a knowledgeable feedback from you as to how we can improve on these courses. We are completely open to criticism, open to suggestions, open to ideas. After all, we are a democratic center for public policy and governance. That's our job. Now, Nilofer Yasmin, will you
Yes,
talk,
ma'am. Good
please?
morning, ma'am.
Yes. Yes,
Good morning,
Nilofer.
ma'am, and
Please
good morning,
introduce.
everyone. I am Nilofer Yasmin, and I did my graduation in political science from Jamia Millia Islamia, where ma'am was a professor. And right now I'm enrolled in MA Public Administration in the same institute. And I got to know about the course from the professors in public administration. Mohit sir and Pooja ma'am think highly of you, ma'am, and a senior of mine, Amrita Khaitan, you taught her. And she told me, she sent me the details and she asked me to enroll because it was an opportunity one should not miss. And I'm looking forward to the course. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nilofer. You're from home territory, really, in the sense that you're from Jamia. I
Yes,
didn't
ma'am.
know this. So happy to enroll you, happy to that you're a part of my new programs, because after Jamia, I've straight
Yes,
come to
ma'am.
this center and started this, and I'd be so happy if our ex-students join in and be a part of my new endeavor to build up this new Center for Public Policy and Governance. Thank you for joining, and try
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
be
We're
as regular in the
Y-
classes as you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Be
I'll
there.
be. Thank
Yeah,
you, ma'am.
sure. That's how you learn, and give
Yes,
us a
ma'am.
feedback.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you,
Sure.
Nilofer. Is
Thank you,
Divyansh
ma'am.
there by any chance? Divyansh, Anjani, can you see Divyansh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am present.
Oh, you're there. Good.
Yes.
So Divyansh should be the next to speak. Go ahead, Divyansh. Introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I am visible. Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am, and other
Yes.
participants. Good afternoon. I am Divyansh Thenwa. A student of BA program, second year of Rajdhani College, Delhi University, and I get to know about this course from the university campus notice board, and I have enrolled in CC1 and CC3.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. So you're a student of the BA program in Rajdhani College.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're an undergraduate student.
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope with all your other academic commitments, you'll be able to attend the classes, because
Yes,
these
ma'am.
are
Yes,
for
ma'am.
weekends. We really
Yes,
want, because you're an undergraduate student, we'll be too happy, because these courses are MA level courses. I want to announce that straight away. These courses are absolutely, though we call them certificate courses, we can't give degree and diploma courses in the institute. So we call them certificate courses. But if you look at the syllabus, it's absolutely postgraduate level. So you will learn a lot because you're an undergraduate student. So kindly attend, learn, give us a feedback. Thank you, Divyansh.
okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Is Yash Kirti Pal there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello
Introduce
everyone.
yourself.
My name is Yashkirti Pal. I'm doing my master's in political science from Delhi University, and I got to know this course through one of my college groups, and all the courses seem really interesting. But I chose the data analytics one because I find it's the basis of every research that you do. But I will definitely take the other courses in future.
I'm just requesting you to take the other courses simply because it's a set that we
Yeah.
want you to be able to write in your CV. You know,
Yes.
when any employer has you for any expertise that they wish on public policy, let's say whatever the nomenclature of the job, if they want anything to do with public policy, and you can show a set of 4 courses that you've done on public policy, which are certified courses of the institute, that will really give you the value add. Therefore, I said, and they're logically interconnected courses that really will give you an understanding of public policy and governance, data analytics, e-governance. This is the set which you need to know. So you are a student of MA Political Science. Okay, fine. Thank you, Yashkirti. Ambika, you're next.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Ambika Naran. I'm currently working as an assistant manager with Ernst & Young, Gurgaon. So I got to know this course through one of the course instructors, Gauri ma'am, and she introduced me about this course. And I was keen to understand the public policy and governance because I don't have much idea because I'm totally from a different field. And I really wanted to understand going through the current scenario, what India is facing and what the international levels are going around. So I was really interested in like how we as a citizen can understand public policy and governance, and even in our spheres also it is quite important to know the concepts of this. So governance everywhere is involved. So not only it's only the government governance, it's like corporate governance and everything. So yeah, I was really keen to go about this course. So that's why I've enrolled myself into this.
What has been your college specialization? Like, what was your academic area of work?
Yeah, so I've done my graduation from Gargi College in BCom.
Oh, you're a BCom graduate.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a BCom graduate. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. So yeah.
You are a chartered accountant by profession.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So we have a chartered accountant joining our course. This is great. I really congratulate you for having chosen this course of ours because, you know, so you are professionally equipped for the private sector. Okay, I understand that. But let me tell you, a lot of private sector bodies, industry people are now looking for, experts who have something to do with public policy, because public policy has come in a big way in the job profiles of young professionals working in the private sector as well. So that's one thing we have kept in mind, and I'm asking all the course instructors present that please do remember that there are corporate sector people, private sector people who have enrolled, and their perspective is totally different. You know enough about corporate governance. We don't have to teach you corporate governance because you're an assistant manager in EY. So in one of the best CA, they are part of Big Four, as it is said. And please do tell us, I mean, your feedback would be really valuable, that how do you look at public policy, the importance of it in today's world, and even in industry and private sector. Why are they hiring public policy experts? Why do they need public policy experts, and why that qualification is a value add to your portfolio? You're a chartered accountant anyway, so you already have a formidable degree with you in a formidable company you're working. But even then, I can promise you that these 4 sets, if you do, that will be a very refreshing value add to your already formidable CV. So thank you for joining, Ambika.
Thank you.
We'll be with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Now, is Anushika there? I saw she'd entered the web room. Anushika was part of the group here.
Hello.
Anushika, yes, please join us. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
Yeah, so very good afternoon, everyone, to teachers and other participants. My name is Anushika Samlot. I'm from Jaipur, Rajasthan. I have done my graduation in BBA and master's in HR and marketing. I'm working since last 8 years in a corporate field as a manager marketing in an automobile firm based in Jaipur. And I get to know about this program with one of the course instructor, Mrs. Gauri Narayan Mathur, and I joined this program for more career from more career opportunities for me. So thank you for having me on board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anushika, for joining us. You are the second private sector corporate executive to join this. And this is the kind of interdisciplinary efforts that we also wish to do in our Center for Public Policy and Governance. Though we are essentially social science persons, I have to admit, me and my teammates, though the course instructor for the fourth course is a science person. The rest of us are social science professors, teachers, teammates, whatever we are interacting with. There's more of social science people in the institute also. We are into social science action research. But as a public administration professor, as a public policy and administration professor, I am hugely interested in looking at private administration as well, private corporate administration, and what are the similarities and the dissimilarities between the private and the public sector administrations, and whether there has been a convergence, because today we are talking a lot about how public the private sector bodies are becoming and how public sector bodies are getting privatized. So you see, the convergence is happening, wherein a lot of public sector tools and techniques are being used by the corporate sector, and the corporate sector, the public sector people are learning their tools and techniques as well. So this kind of interdisciplinarity is absolutely required in today's world, wherein under globalization, so much privatization has taken place of the public sector, of the government, of public bodies, and as you know, the state is receding gradually. Public sector is receding gradually, and corporatization and liberalization, privatization, it's a march of of this that we witness. But let me tell you, there's so much in public sector techniques, governance techniques, public policy, the way it's done in governance, that you must learn too. So it's this kind of cross disciplinarity is also welcome, and I'm glad that at least we have you as let's say a representative of the private sector to join us and to teach us some of the things that you have learned through your discipline, and perhaps a little bit of learning from our side, which we want to give you, which would make you a better corporate sector manager. If you have that, that broad perspective of public policy and governance, that's also important learning for you. So thank you for joining us, Anushika. Be with us and do give us your feedback. Now, can we have Pragya to talk? Pragya is here. Will you introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
please,
afternoon.
Pragya.
So I am Pragya Mahajan. I belong to State Punjab, District Pathankot. Currently, I am pursuing my Masters in Public Administration from Punjab University, Chandigarh. So I came
How
to
did you
know.
get to know about our course?
Yes, ma'am. Our professor, Dr. Ramanjit Johal. She
Okay.
translated this message into the group, and she also recommended us to read the books written by you. So I was quite excited that Dr. Ramki Basu will be there and we will have a chance to learn from you. So I joined this course. I'm looking forward to enroll more into other courses too.
Yes, thank you so much. And maybe you could inform your peer group about the courses. We want more to join in. And anyway, as a general announcement, thank you for enrolling. Of course, you are a part of Ramanjit's. I'm glad she talked about me and my efforts here. She probably has seen me in the other role of a professor of public policy and administration. Here I am introducing myself to you in a new avatar, as they say. That doesn't mean I cease to be a professor. I think I'll die a professor, calling myself a professor till I live, and until I die, I'll primarily introduce myself, and that's my primary identity as a professor of public policy and administration, and very proudly so. I wear that mantle and will wear that mantle all my life. And yes, but as a head of the center, which is a think tank, and we are growing and trying to develop and evolve this, center of public policy and governance, which is part of a much older think tank. We are housed in the Institute of Social Sciences, which has a rich legacy of 35 years of research, policy advocacy, and so on in social sciences. That's the bigger body, the older body, and we are the young Center for Public Policy and Governance, which I've just started. And these courses were really meant to reach out, to get back to academics, to get back to students, to get back to lecturing, which I'm so comfortable with, instead of just doing policy advocacy and so on, which I'll be doing here anyway. But Pragya, watch out for all the rest of the activities that we do. Not Pragya, all of you. Please look at our websites, because there will be health policy seminars, technology seminars on technology. Then there'll be policy talks where we get global scholars to talk about public policy, and look at our publications. At the end of the year, December will be the month when we release our monographs, newsletters, publications, which we are committed to bring out at the end of the year. So please look at everything that we will be doing this year, and let others, your friends, also know what we are doing. So if you ask them if we've done a good job, if you think we've done a good job, then definitely ask others to enroll. So we will watch you and you will watch us. Please, it has to be reciprocal. So thank you, yes, Pragya, for joining, and thank Madam Ramanjit for informing all the students about this course. Thank you. Now, is Akriti there? Akriti, are you there?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I hope
yes.
I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Akriti, please introduce yourself. We'll be happy to know a little more about you.
Good afternoon. I'm Akriti. I did my bachelor's in history from Hindu College. Right after that, I jumped into the sea of civil services preparation. While I was preparing, I decided to also start my master's. So I did my master's in sociology from Hindu itself. While civil services didn't work out for me, I decided to choose the alternate path to public policy, because that was something I was always invested in. So I had a brief stint at the Observer Researcher Foundation at Mumbai. I was in their geoeconomics program. After that, I got an opportunity to work as a research analyst at AIGGPA. That's the state component of Niti Aayog in Madhya Pradesh. So we have an MOU with the Institute of Social Sciences, and that's how I got to know about the program. And here I'm doing monitoring and evaluation for 2 schemes currently. That is the Lok Seva Kendra and Poshan Abhiyan. So while MNE requires you to be a hardcore researcher, I also need to have adept tools and I mean, I need to be aware of data analysis per se. And when I got to know about this course, I just jumped into it and I said, why not? So that's about me.
Thank you, Akriti. That's wonderful, to know that you have some experience of work in think tanks. You're the only one here who perhaps have already worked in a think tank, and you know the kind of research, advocacy, or evaluation work, or any kind of work that usually think tanks do. It's research, study, advocacy, impact studies, evaluation studies, and so on. And you've done and you have worked with government schemes and programs, which is also important. So you are already exposed to public policy evaluation, policy impacts, policy evaluation, and so on. So perhaps you will teach us more with your experience than our course instructors, who will make their best efforts and put their best foot forward. But I always say experience is the best teacher. So it's not just theory that matters in public policy and governance. We need people like you to tell us about your experience, hands-on experience with policy impact evaluation, which is very important, or policy scheme evaluations, or impact studies, and so on. So we'll be happy, and we hope that weekend classes, the whole reason we had to do a lot of brainstorming as to how do we reach out to everyone, because we do know this is a certificate course and you're all engaged in some regular course or working, or you are doing something or the other, which whereby you may not be able to join a program which is a 7-day week kind of teaching and learning. So just to ensure that nobody is handicapped because of lack of time, or because you're engaged elsewhere, whether in an academic program or as an employee somewhere, we thought that maybe that the weekend scheme works out better. And anybody who does up to 2 courses, I think the timings we have staggered out in such a way that 2 courses should be no problem at all. There's a 15-minute gap. Even if you do 4, and you're ready to keep your ears open, at least there's enough learning there. But still, I would advise you to get the best value from doing maybe 2 at a time, not more than that. As a teacher, I know you have to be receptive, and there are just 32 weeks out there, and you need, if I give you a big bibliography, that will not help. You at least go through your e-resources, which we are giving you. That much time, if you can take out, first to attend classes regularly and the e-resources, I think that gives you a broad overview of the whole subject, which is the intention. And as a person who's worked in a think tank, you are aware of the Institute of Social Sciences. And due to COVID, as you know, how difficult it's been for all think tanks to get back to action. It's not easy, the 2 years gap makes a, that's really been very damaging for all institutions. But hopefully we will get back. And so this was the first academic course, program, or whatever you may call, the institute is offering after a long time. Perhaps the first certificate courses the institute offers. It's a 35-year-old institution. It's been doing work for very long. But the chairman was very, very excited about these courses and the kind of work I'm doing in the center, because he said we need to reach out to students. We need to do some kind of learning programs, and short term and certificate ones, and try and do them in the weekends. We can't get students otherwise. So hopefully, with the best of intention, I'm going to soon wind up my lecture. A couple of things that I wish to tell you. First, you need these courses. I'm repeatedly saying the best value will be if you do 4. No doubt about it. But we will certainly open this up twice a year. So you can tell your friends, peer group, other people who wish to join that this is not the first and the last. We will open up, when we'll open up next, we do not know. But as a general suggestion, if you tell me that open up only during summer vacation and winter vacation, we'll do that. If most of you are students and you think that the best time to do courses is May, June, or December, January, please give us a feedback about that. Because somehow I'm feeling a little guilty, perhaps, that the feedback I got recently from some students was March and April are considered exam months. So, everybody is into giving some exam or the other in March and April. So maybe I didn't keep that in mind. So I'll be happy to next time, maybe not this May, later as a permanent, program of our center, we'll offer them only in summer and in winter break, the vacation time, when we get students to join us very happily with no other preoccupation. But those of you who are employed, for example, I think it makes no difference whether it is March, April, May, June, or September, October. So for the employed people, I think the timing is not going to be a handicap. Now, regarding the course structure, please go back and have a look. And what I'm trying to tell you, and which I'll be doing elaborately tomorrow, because tomorrow is today was the orientation introduction day. I think I've introduced you all to the participants to the course instructors, and the course instructors have been introduced to you. There are a couple of announcements that I wish to make. Firstly, any administrative query, anything regarding logistics, timing, syllabus, availability of teachers, or any other announcement, the man to contact is Anjani Kumar. You don't have to get to me or get to the course instructors. Anjani, a phone call to him, and he will attend to your queries, issues. Now, I cannot honestly say that you will not get a certificate if you do not attend. I do know that there will be times when it will be difficult, or you may not be able to attend, let's say, all 32 lectures. You may have to take a break off and on somewhere, some days, some Saturday, some Sunday, because after all, weekends, people have other engagements. But please do have a valid reason for not attending, and please inform your course instructor, tell why you couldn't. There's no harm in telling the truth. It could be a family wedding you have to go to. It's a Saturday, Sunday. You want to go and eat out somewhere, or there's a lunch or a dinner with a friend, or it could be anything. I understand it's a weekend that we are targeting. So kindly inform, just the information that needs to be given to the course instructor, that I will not be attending tomorrow or next week, the first class. I'll be absent. So some valid reason has to come to us. Information has to come to us. So attendance they will keep for record. All course instructors have been told to keep the attendance record. This is for our office use. So attendance record is kept. But I will not deny anybody a certificate provided other course requirements have been met. So please do attend the lectures, participate in the discussions, okay, do the home assignments, make a class presentation maybe once in those 30 lectures, एक class presentation we expect from you, and do give the objective type tests. We are not going for subjective type exams. We are not going for anything, because the schedule is so tight. In the when you start from 19th March to 30th April, only weekends, the weekends will be taken up for teaching, because every class is one subunit of the syllabus. So we can't keep separate timings for exams. So no exam classes, or no timing separate for exams. Within the class, you can have your interaction. Within the class, you can have your presentation, And within the class, we will give you objective type tests, 15 minutes, half an hour. So do not think that after the lectures, there is exams to be given. And after we pass the exams, we will give the certificate. No, it's all part of the lectures. Your tests will be going on, home assignment will be going on, class presentation will be going on, record of attendance will be kept by teachers. Our effort is to give you the certificate, not to deny you. By being too strict, after all, you're adults. Some of you are students, some of you are working. So we treat you like adults, responsible human beings who will inform the teacher in advance just to say, I will not be able to come next time. That's it. But please do not bunk lectures and do not bunk your tests. There is no way to evaluate except one maybe objective type test and one home assignment or maybe one class presentation. That's all. We have not made it so strict that, you resent it at the end of the day. We are making it only comfortable as possible for you, so that you attend, you give your test, do your home assignment, because we also need to evaluate you in some way. Just that minimum, and we are not going to be strict with you, please remember, so that we'll be happy to give you the certificate at the end of the innings when we finish our 32 lectures. We will not go beyond 30th April. And if teachers reschedule lectures, they will themselves tell you when you have to attend. But we do not go beyond 30th April. And first week of May, if you can come physically to take your certificate, fine. If not, it will be posted to you, hard copy of the certificate. We do not give e-certificates. We will not give e-certificates at all. A hard copy of the certificate will be mailed to you, posted to you, right? So if you have any queries left, and through with whatever I had to say. Oh yes, one last announcement. And that's because this is the first batch, and this is the first batch of students. We value you, we prize you, we are happy with you, and we'll be happy with your feedback too. But today I've received a lot of requests from latecomers, people who got to know at the last minute, yet to make up their minds, that category. I have my Anjani phoned me early morning to say, what do I do with these emails and queries and phone calls? Can you allow a last minute extension? I'll allow it. I'll allow it till 18th March, not 19th, when your teachers will start the classes. So please, if you have friends, peer group, associates, colleagues, anybody who wishes to join, even now, I'm allowing it because we also understand it's the first batch. You also may have got information too late. You might have seen the Instagram or the Facebook or the college notice board too late, and you're yet to make up your mind. Then suddenly you get to know it's all closed and the orientation has begun. So it's okay. Let's be informal and let's be easy with our participants. This is not a that kind of a strict Center for Public Policy and Governance, which goes by last dates and deadlines. We are comfortable with you. You can be just asked. We are extended. Please officially let it be known. We have extended the date till 18th March. So any last minute queries that are coming into Anjani and he doesn't know how to handle it, I've told him, just tell them they have to pay up the fees and enroll by 18th. 19th is the day when the official classes begin. So if they've missed out, they will miss out only on the orientation. But the real teaching starts from 19th. So we do have time for you to reconsider, rethink. Anybody last minute coming in are welcome till 18th. We have extended the date officially. Let that be known. So let me wind up today. Only today's lecture I'm winding up as an introductory lecture, but tomorrow I welcome you again back at 9, from 9 to 11, half an hour for each course I will devote. I need to tell you what it's all about, what is it that you need to understand in that course, and generally introduce that course to you in the academic content and the inputs that we have given in the designing of that course and why we have done it, what is the rationale for for doing this course, and whatever else that I need to talk about. Each course I'll devote half an hour. So tomorrow 2 hours means half an hour per course, introduction in an academic sense. Today was more of a social introduction and other things that I had to talk about today. So I finish. I'm through. If there's any query from my course instructors, anything they wish to say, please go ahead, the course instructors, and anything else that you wish to say, the participants, you have time. It's 1 o'clock.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Anjani, we can hear you.
One thing I want to say, amongst these enrolled students, if anyone want to enroll for any other courses, those who have opted only one course, you may ask them and they will inform me.
Okay, Anjani has already told you. If any last minute rethink or you want to revisit all the courses again, go home, have a good look at all the courses again. If anybody wants to, because we must give them the time to revisit the syllabus of the other courses, look at every course once again. Those of you who want to enroll for the second course, because I have to very honestly admit that two is enough. More than 2, that attention span gets difficult to give. So with the maximum attention span, you can do 2 courses at a time. So if those of you who want to open up a second course, there's still time because extension has been given till 18th anyway. So please let Anjani know whatever your plans. Otherwise, wish you all the best and come for the lecture tomorrow. 9 o'clock sharp. I expect all of you to be there, and I will speak on the courses now. So if, again, after I've spoken on the courses, if you feel that there's something else you wish to do, one more, you're welcome. And the course instructors, please note, please be there tomorrow. Course instructors, because they may have queries about your course or any particular course. If there's some thing that I've missed out in my lecture, I'll be introducing all of them tomorrow. But if there's anything I've missed out, the course instructors will be there to talk. So all course instructors, welcome to tomorrow's lecture from 9 to 11. It's the same link. It's the same link. But please remember, this will not be the link from 19th onwards. You will get a separate link for all the lectures. This link was only for the orientation. It finishes tomorrow. So tomorrow, enter through same link. You will not get anything else from Anjani. It's the same link. You can enter the web room by 9 o'clock tomorrow, and we continue till 11. So use the same link and enter and come to the class tomorrow. And other link will be again given by Anjani by 17th or so. 17th, 18th, he will post the other link for the lectures. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Anything you wish to say? All done then for today? Okay, thank you so much for being there, for being our first batch of students. And nothing excites a professor more than seeing students enrolling for a particular academic course. Believe me, these are academic courses, but 2 units will be purely academic. 2 others will be devoted to other things which will help you if you become a policy expert or a policy analyst or a data analyst. There are skill sets which you must know. So we are giving you that in the other units. But I'm happy to see you all there. Welcome to the short-term courses. And please be there even for the lectures which start from 19th onwards.